Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. It's time for another opening of our Advent calendar. We are now already up to day 8. So let's go ahead and see what's in that one. So that one is right here. And let me get my little knife. I've been doing real good not making a mess with this. I'm happy. Okay, what's in here? And we have another die set. So let's see. Okay, according to the picture, you can see the little picture there, we have got us a couple of little mushrooms. So let's go ahead and put those together and see what I can do about putting them on a card. So I've got some of this glitter foam from Spellbinders that I haven't used, and I'm going to go ahead and use a bunch of it. I figure let's make a bunch of sparkly, a bunch of glittery little, yeah, little mushrooms. So I'm going to do a bunch of die cutting with these little guys. We've got 2 dies for the tops of each of our mushrooms. One's got the little dots on the inside, and one's got the background shape, and then we've got the stems. This is the underside of our larger mushroom, and then we've got a couple of little tufts of grass. So we've got all the pieces to make a bunch of little mushrooms. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to be doing a bunch of die cutting, and then we can start putting these together. So I kind of sort of changed my mind. Yeah, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make some ornaments out of these little mushrooms. That's going to be super cute. Mostly I'm thinking that because I decided on all the glitter, and glitter ornaments, doesn't matter what shape it is, it's going to be fun. Now that means I need to do the front and the back. So what I've done is I cut once on the front, and then I cut once the opposite. Actually, this was right side up, and this is where I cut into the back of the foam so that we have a mirror image on there. So I just did the same thing with the dark blue, because I've got dark blue for some of my mushrooms. So you see I cut into the back, but that just means it's going to fit perfectly on the outside. So then I will have my glitter layer on both sides. So I actually kind of went overboard again, like I kind of always do. So I've actually got enough to make 4 sets. So 4 of the bigger mushroom, and here's one already mostly done. I've got it. This is actually the back side of it. The other side's not done yet, and I've discovered a couple of things. First off, when you're working with foam, it's going to take a bit to be able to fill up that gap between things, because I'm actually layering foam. Also, the foam's hopefully going to pop back up, because when I was cutting out the stems, yeah, it kind of got smushed because I got a lot out of the same piece. Anyhow, I've got the first one kind of put together, and I'm going to put some more on the back, or on the front. And that's going to be using this guy, because I also didn't realize that I started on 2 of them yeah, I did not do it right. Anyway, this one I'll be able to turn around and put on here. And then I can put one of my little stems on. So I'm just doing that with some liquid glue. And then I'll go back and kind of, can't do that. That was the part that got me mixed up before. I need a string. If this is going to be an ornament, this has to be like the last bit, because that's when it's going to get finally put together, right? So I need to get everything else done. Another thing I want to try to do is to do one of the little ones kind of attached. So I still have to figure that one out, and when I do, I can just basically attach it to the cardstock part on the back and then add my last layer of foam. So that needs to go over there away from me so I don't accidentally do that one. I'm also going to leave the other purples away so I don't do it. Let's have one of each piece. Yeah, okay. So now that leaves me with the front and the back. Actually, I just need one insert for one piece of cardstock for my purple, and one of these. I don't need any of the rest yet. I will do them later. So what I'm going to do on here is kind of go through the steps that I did on that one. So we've got the glitter to go on the front of our purple base. And to do the base, I just took that little insert out. I told you that each of these has a separate piece to do the little holes. So I took the insert out and just cut out the main shape. So let's go ahead and add these down. Yeah, that's part of my problem, guys. I am so sorry. I have a simple idea and then I decide, oh, what if I did this? And then I realize, oh, that's actually a little bit more complicated. So it winds up where I start off with one idea and kind of blow everything completely out of proportion. Okay, so this one is actually supposed to be for the front, and that is totally fine too. I think what I'm going to do is when I put my final piece of purple foam over the top, I'll have this one kind of in front. I think that's going to work out nice. And I can go ahead and add... Now that needs to actually go over the top of that. Okay, my brain is still working. Yes, okay. So now I've got our little pieces here. So I've got a front and a back because they are slightly different. Not enough so that anybody's really going to notice. And then I've got a piece of cardstock as well. Now the thing is, because this is so thick, I'm going to need to put foam tape behind my little piece here in order to have it all be flush. Okay, and I think I'm going to have it so it just comes up to the edge. I don't have to have it overlap. With this other one, I do have it overlapping. It's going to be better if I have it overlapping a little bit because then it'll have something to stick to. Yeah, okay. So that means I'm going to put a little bit of foam. This is some 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to put a little bit of foam on the back of the little stem. There we go. And then I'm going to trim off a little bit of the top. And this is going to be what's going to allow this to actually, the foam one, the glitter one, to be able to overlap a little bit on the front. It's because we're going to have this attached like that. Okay. So I'm adding a little tiny bit of glue to the back here. And I kind of like the idea of the cardstock just overlapping just slightly. I didn't do that on the first one, but I think that's going to work really good. On the first one, I already had the foam attached, and that's when I realized, oh, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more there, or it's not going to work. Okay, so now I can add one of my little foam pieces and just attach that over the foam and onto very tip of my little mushroom there. And let's go ahead and add a little bit of grass to the bottom. So just adding that on there. Okay. Now I need a string. So I'm just using some baker's twine. I've got this purple. I think this is actually Halloween, but I think it works fine for my little mushroom here. And I'm going to take the end that is folded, and that's going to be down in the center of my mushroom. Okay, so first I need to add a lot of glue so that this does not come apart. And I'll add my little string here. And then I can put the topper on. And it needs to be this one. And I know we may be able to see some of the string through those little holes, but I'm not really all that concerned about it. I think the glitter is going to basically pull your attention away from anything else that might be back there. Okay, so we'll just put that right down on there. And then we're going to put that underneath my acrylic block so it can have a chance to dry. So let's go ahead and get these guys glued together, and then once the big mushroom has had a chance to really get a hold of it and really dry, then I can add these guys on. And what probably took the most amount of time with all of the die cutting was just getting all the little dots out of my little mushrooms. And of course I want to keep them because these are going to be some really cute shaker bits. So make sure that you give yourself time for everything to dry, because I'm probably not giving it enough time. Okay, so let me put a little bit of grass on, and then I'm sticking this one under the block as well. There are two different sizes of the grass. One's a little bit bigger than the other one. So use the smaller one to go on your little mushroom. So I'm going to go ahead and add the last couple of bits, which is this stem and my little mushroom onto this one. There we go. Oops, I actually just remembered. Forgot one other piece. Got the underside of our mushroom. That needs to go on there first. There we go. And again, of course, it needs some additional time to dry. Everything needs time to dry on this. I'm going to try to go ahead and get this last bit on there and get it back under the block so that we're basically done with this ornament, and then I can start working on another one. The first of anything is always going to be a little bit more difficult than the second and the third because you're figuring out how best to do everything. Okay, so we've got that one, and I'm going to need it under the block to make everything stay put. And then I'm going to adhere this one over the top and add that little bit of grass. I need a little bit of grass. And what would probably make it easier, just do what I say, not what I do. What would probably make this easier would be if you were to put double-sided tape on the back of everything before. Okay, I think that these little guys turned out adorable. Yeah, gluing on glitter foam, that is a little bit difficult, but I think the results are just fabulous. So on the front, we've got it looking like this. On this one, on the back, we've got the little mushroom is kind of hiding in the back. So both of them look, both directions look super great. Both directions look super cute. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hang that on my tree. Anyway, yeah, you guys have a great day. Remember, I am doing these videos every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, taking care of the Advent Calendar series all the way through the 24th. And on Saturday, I'm going to be going live with my buddy Cordelia. So we are going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be opening up our Advent Calendar and seeing what's inside and playing for a bit. So we'd love for you to join us. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.